Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Recruiting Board podcast. This is your host Grant Sashray. I'm joined here with Alexandria High School running back JT Lindsay, right smack in the middle of the state of Louisiana. JT, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you.
How's your day been so far?
It's been great. It just came from track practice. My little brother practiced a little flag football.
What are you doing track?
100, 200, 4x4, 4x2, 4x1.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And so yeah, just kind of describe JT's background. So he's a running back in a three-star running back in the class of 2025, which is a pretty loaded class in the state of Louisiana when it comes to running backs. You already have Harlan Berry and James Simon up in Calvary Baptist, and then you also have Jasper Parker and Archbishop Sean. There's a lot of great running backs, and JT is another one of the special running backs coming out of the state of Louisiana in the class of 2025. But he's 5'11", 185 pounds, runs a 4.48 40, and he's gotten offers from Mississippi State, Pitt, Arkansas State, UL Lafayette, Houston, Vanderbilt, UTSA, and then Tulane. And he's also all-state running back. Any accolade you could give a running back, he's probably got. So what has your offseason been like so far, JT?
Busy with recruiting and track practice.
Mm-hmm. Have you taken any visits so far this offseason? And I know you took one to Houston, but were there some others that you were able to take some visits?
I went to Tulane. I got to go to LSU March the 9th. I got to go to Louisiana Tech, then UL.
Mm-hmm. How was your visit to Tulane? Because I know that they just hired a new staff and everything like that.
Oh, it was great. I like the atmosphere over there. I like what they're telling us, what they're teaching us. I like the whole coaching staff over there, and it's a good environment.
Would you say like they're kind of like their approach is pretty aggressive? Because we've kind of seen that in the last month or two with Coach Summerall coming in. He's brought in some pretty well-known transfers out of the portal, and then also signed a 4-star cornerback out of the state of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like what they're building. I heard he's a very good coach. I did my research on him. He like to win. I like to win as well.
I know that Coach Jack Snyder over there, he's one of the recruiting specialists. I know you had a pretty close relationship when he was at Mississippi State. Has that carried over to Tulane?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We real close. That's my guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coach Jack Snyder's Kyle Snyder is from the New Orleans area. He went to Holy Cross School, which is right down the street from where I live, actually. And going on to speaking of Tulane, Willie Fritz recently became the head coach of Houston. He was the head coach of Tulane, I believe, for the last 6 or 7 years. He goes over to Tulane. He goes over to Houston. My bad. And it seems like he's been really heavy on recruiting out of the state of Louisiana, which is something that obviously he built those connections at Tulane. So, what's your relationship been like with the staff at Houston, and what did you enjoy about the visit over there?
Oh, I enjoyed every bit of it. I met the head coach, Coach Willie Fit. Now I met his son, running back coach. We got built a good relationship over there. The new running back assistant coach, strength coach. I like what he preaching over there. It's a real nice place. And they rebuilding the stadium and adding a new weight room and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Houston's got a lot of money. I don't think a lot of people don't realize that because they got obviously the owner of the Houston Rockets with the Houston, and he's a billionaire. He's got all kinds of money. But Mattress Mac also went there, the guy who makes all these $billion bets with the Astros and everything like that. But also Coach Barbe, who's the office coordinator, Kevin Barbe, who's the office coordinator at Houston. I know he was office coordinator at Mississippi State when they were going after you. What's your relationship like with him, and how does he, if you do, let's say you hypothetically go to Houston, how did he tell you how he was going to plan to use you?
Yeah, so they building it more to an outside zone scheme to where I can use my speed. That's what I like to do. That's one of my big little plus and pros on my backside. really like it. They changing it. You know, they're more inside type of offense at Houston.
Hmm. Yeah, and you also got some offers from Pitt and Vandy. Did those surprise you, or you kind of knew those were coming?
It surprised me. I was actually in Spanish class, and my friend he asked me why your phone blowing up. And I looked at it. All the coaches have followed me on Twitter, and it's like at the same time. Then they had asked for my head coach number. I gave it to them. Then after that, when I got out of school, they had called me and gave me the offer.
Hmm. How many times has that happened to you with when you got into scholarship offers? A lot of those happen to school, like you just kind of explained.
Yeah, so like almost everyone's at school. I got one early in the morning when I had woke up. That's from Vanderbilt.
Hmm. Yeah, apparently, Vandy just wanted to get ahead of the game, right before you got into school, of course, because Vandy, they just love school, man, over there. So yeah, speaking of, because those are the schools that offer you. Has there been any other schools that have been contacting you as of late? I know you're going to the junior day on March 9th at LSU, but has there been some others that we may not know yet?
Oh yeah, OSU, Boston. They started reaching out to me. That's about it right now.
Yeah, OSU as in Oklahoma State.
Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And so yeah, kind of going into some more personal stuff. What are your biggest attributes on, and then also off the field?
My biggest attributes off the field. I like to help around. I'm I'm really close to my little brother. I just came from a little flag football practice. Uh, help my coaches out and do a little track practice afterwards.
Hmm. And as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, there's a large amount of running backs coming out of the state of Louisiana in the class of 2025, and then also across the country. So how do you separate yourself from the rest of the pack when it comes to your position?
I want to use my speed a lot. Got not a lot of running backs in Louisiana or period no more. Really got speed, like breakaway speed. And I like to use that part of my game. So that's why everybody really coming to me because they see me like breaking away from good tackles and everything, breakaway speed.
Hmm. And my next question is, you're at Alexandria, and I think the one thing people don't know about Alexandria is that you guys are in arguably the toughest district in the state of Louisiana, other than the Catholic League in New Orleans. With all the great teams they have over there, but you're in the district with West Monroe, Ruston, who just recently won the 5A state championship. You're all Neville, Washington Parish. Those are some of the best high school programs, not only in the state but also the country. And I think Neville, West Monroe, and Ruston. I think all of them combined have like 25 state championships. How does facing competition like that prepare you for the next level?
I love it. We love it over here. We all about playing against the best in the state. That's why they chose the schedule that we have now. We love the competition, and it just make it better. Cause we go against the. I feel like we the best, so we go against the best at practice every day. So when we get there, it's like practice really.
Kind of moving on from that, Alexandria is in Central Louisiana. I think a lot of people kind of overlook Central Louisiana. I know there's a lot. I mean, when people talk about Central Louisiana, obviously they could talk about Alexandria. You guys are the premier 5A school in Central Louisiana, but there's a lot of talent in Central Louisiana, especially at Tioga and Peabody. You know, what does being from Central Louisiana kind of put a chip on your shoulder?
Yes, sir, it do. It really do, cause we very overlooked. We got some of the best talents in Louisiana, but nobody really know about us. That's why whenever college coach reach out to me and they give me the offer, I'm quick to put my homeboys and my team on, send them the film so they could get exposed too.
Yeah, and it's been kind of going off of that. Do you think that's your biggest motivator, is that your biggest motivator, or are there some others that also motivate you as well?
My mama, she's my biggest motivator. I'm really want to get her what she deserves.
Hmm. And what is your relationship like with your mom? Because I think a lot of people, when they mention, oh, what's your biggest motivator, a lot of people say it's your mom. So what makes your mom so special to you?
The things that she do for me, like she worked real hard to get me to. She paid for these camps, travel real far for these camps, pay a ton of money, do everything that she can to put me in the position I am now. And she seen that it's paying off, and I love it.
Yeah, and that's always a great answer. I think your mom's gonna love that when she sees this. Um, but yeah, but speaking of, you've got obviously, you mentioned went to a lot of camps, but you've also been going to you've also been taking official visits to Houston and Tulane, and then you eventually take your official visit to LSU. But then you're obviously your phone's blowing up in the middle class. People are wondering where you're gonna go to play at the next level. So how do you deal with all the distractions going on?
I had to tell them, wait. Oh, they always be asking me where I want to go, what school I want to get offered from. I don't really have no preferred school I want to get offered from because there's a lot of research that go into it. So I just tell them I'm opposed when I'm gonna get my when I commit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, always take your time, man. There's no issue with that because you just don't know who's going to offer you next. You could be thinking, oh, these are my top five, and then three more schools offer you. It's always a good thing to take your time, especially when it comes to a big decision like this, because not only does it affect you, but it affects your whole family. But yeah, so what areas have you improved on? And what areas have you improved on from the start of your high school career to now? And what areas do you still think need some work on?
Well, I improved a whole lot. It was rough my freshman year, but they trusted me. I remember when I started running back here, I got hurt, and I was on next running back up. So they put me in. We lost, but I played 3 quarters. 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's my first varsity touchdown. I loved it. But my vision really paid off. My speed, I know when to turn it on, when to turn it off. The pull blocks, the defense, the front, all that.
Yeah. And how have your coaches helped you with your development? I know Coach Bachman is one of the best coaches around, especially in the state of Louisiana.
The best
How's
coach.
yeah, he is the best coach. Yeah, exactly. That's great answer. But how is he and the rest of the coaching staff helped with your development to help you get to where you are right now?
Oh, helped me out a lot. Do certain drills that we do from that I learned from a camp to help me improve that and put it into my game. Sit down with me after the game, watch some film, what I can improve on, what I did good. Real good coaching staff, real underrated.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think Alexandra's and just everything about your guys' program is just underrated. I think a lot of times you guys fall under the radar. Like last year, I remember you guys finished the season 6-4, but you guys were one of those teams where you guys can compete with anybody because of the district you guys playing with Ruston and West Monroe and Neville. And when you guys made the quarterfinals, I wasn't shocked at all. I thought you guys were a tough matchup no matter who the opponent was, because I just think that you guys are just that talented. And a lot of times people underlook Alexandria because where you guys are located. Like we said, Central Louisiana is kind of like one of the places in not only the state of Louisiana but around the country that people tend to miss on just because it's kind of too far. It's a little bit too far away from everything else. But there's a lot of great talented players like yourself that don't get the recognition that you get. So I think people like yourself help people look more towards Central Louisiana, especially since in the past they really haven't. I think that's going to change real soon. But yeah, so kind of going off of that, you're going to your senior season, right? So obviously you're going to start thinking about what I'm going to do for next year, and you're going to obviously set your goals, and obviously the biggest goal, the first goal is obviously get to the dome. I think that's basically the number one goal for every single team in the state of Louisiana. But you're also entering a new role on your team. You're going to become one of the senior leaders of the team. So what adjustments have you made to as you're entering that role?
I've been more vocal because in the past I've been more of like I won't say quiet, but I don't talk too much and do what I need to do on the field and off the field. It's a whole lot of people outside of football. But now I've been talking. Every time I see somebody in the hallway, I talk to them like in the weight room. I be very vocal on the football field.
Hmm. Right, and you usually got So you're a guy that like usually like to lead by example, and that's how you set the tone, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and what have you been telling your teammates during the off season, working out, whether you're at track, just in the hallways? What have you been hitting home with them?
I've been telling them trust the process. That's a big thing. You gotta trust the process. That's exactly what I did. Now look at the position around you. You gotta trust the coaches, trust what you put in, because what you put in, that's what you're gonna get out. If you do bad in the weight room, you're gonna be bad on the football field. Do bad at practice, gonna be bad in football field. All that stuff shows.
Yeah, exactly. And I got one last question for you. What do you like to do off the field? Is there a specific hobby or hobbies that you like to do off the field to kind of decompress after a hard practice at or football or at track, or just obviously school is obviously a drag too, because you're just learning a lot of stuff in an 8-hour span.
I like to hang around my homeboys. We could go bowling and stuff like that. We could just play a little 7-on-7 football, just friendly stuff. We just have a good time, my friends.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Before we wrap up, is there any last words you want to say?
Thank you to my coaching staff and thank you to my mama. I wouldn't be right here for them if it wasn't for them.
Hmm. Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I'm glad that JT was able to take the time out of his day to come on the podcast. You can follow us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Ruguru Sports Media. And then also make sure to like this video and on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel. This video will also be on Spotify as well, so you can listen to it on the go in audio format. So Grant Sashray, my Twitter handle's right there. JT's Twitter handle's right there, so go make sure to follow him. And then also his huddle link will be in the bio as well if you want to check out all of his highlights. So JT, thanks for hopping on, and we'll see you guys next time.
So thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.